Hello, everyone. My name is Ron Paolo. And now, I haven't really told you all about how much of a bookworm I truly am. Ever since I was in elementary school, that was the time when I first started reading. So, think about it. If you are a book addict because you love reading for the sake of education or pleasurable entertainment, or for whatever reason, then you are pretty much a certified bookworm. So, let me share you a story. Let me tell you about how I first got into reading. When I was probably around 7 years old, I used to collect animated short story books like The Hare and the Tortoise, for example, which became one of my favorite storybooks during my childhood years. I mean, it's like a story about this hare and this tortoise, so they are involved in a race together, and then I believe who won the race? I think you'll just have to read the book yourself, okay? Because I'm not gonna tell you if you don't know the story. So that was one of my favorite storybooks when I was young. And then I also liked to read SpongeBob SquarePants storybooks and other storybooks like Ben 10 comic books. Okay, I can't remember the other storybooks that I used to read before, but man, those were the days. I can still remember some of the most cringiest and funniest lines from those storybooks up until now. I gave away all of my childhood storybooks long ago, which was sad, really. And I do kind of miss reading them already. But, I mean, now that I am 25 years old, I still collect a ton of books that are mostly related to self help and productivity, business and finance, and fantasy fiction books like Harry Potter and The Lord of the Rings. So, I don't really have Game of Thrones, okay? I haven't read Game of Thrones yet, but even though I don't have much time to read all of the books that I have collected on my bookshelf, I'll just show you a picture of my bookshelf along with my physical copies of Nintendo Switch and PlayStation 3 games that are at the bottom of my shelf. So that is my bookshelf. I'm planning to buy another bookshelf soon so that I can collect more books and video games. I also loved collecting video games in physical copies only instead of just digital copies. The same with books. Because whenever you hold a book in physical copy, it's like you own the book, you love it. You want to treasure the book forever. And just recently, well, I bought an Amazon Kindle. This is the original version, by the way. I believe this is 16th generation. I can't remember, but this is the smallest one. But this is the cheapest model that I could ever afford with my limited budget because I'm too broke, so I can't really buy a latest model of an Amazon Kindle because, well, it's just so expensive, and I think this version is already fine with me. So, if you were to look at the cover of my Kindle, this is the Starry Starry Night cover, by the way. And of course, the reason why I bought this cover is that Vincent van Gogh is one of my favorite painters. And every time I look at this painting right here, I am always reminded of how calm I felt whenever I look at the night sky. It's not really nighttime now, okay? And I also love how the darkened but vibrant and warm sky was canvassed artistically in this painting, so it's just so creative. I mean, Vincent van Gogh is a master artist. That's why I love him so much. It is such a beautiful cover for my Kindle. I still want to keep this Kindle, but it is super cheap, or this cover, by the way. The Kindle is where I used to read ebooks or electronic books, which can only be accessed online either through, an iPad or an iPhone or your computer or your laptop. So the laptop is what I'm using to film this video right now. Yeah, this is my Kindle, by the way. At first, when I read my first ebooks, I was surprisingly amazed by the sheer number of books that I could just buy with just one click of the add to cart button. Like when you were going to purchase a digital copy of any book that you couldn't buy in your local bookstore. Why? Because it isn't available yet in your country. It's kind of sad, but I mean, you've always wanted to read that book for yourself, so you had to just buy the Kindle version anyway. We all want to read the books that we want to buy that are not even available worldwide in physical copies. It just feels like you are saving the use of paper because when you use the Kindle to read all of your books, you don't even consume all of your books with paper, right? You don't really consume all of the information that you're reading from your books through the use of paper. So that's what's great about ebooks, right? I'm sure some of you will agree with me on that. So you're saving the use of paper when you're swiping left or right like this between the previous page and the next page of the books that you are reading with your Kindle. Okay? However, it just doesn't really feel like you are reading an authentic copy when you are reading an ebook. Because the realistic originality of an ebook that came from a physical book, it's just not actually present. It's just not there. Like whenever I want to read something from my library, right? It's like I just kind of miss the feel of reading on paper. You get what I mean? So it's just not there. The originality is just not visibly present, especially on a Kindle tablet. So I just couldn't really get into ebooks anymore. Yeah. Not because I have way too many physical books to read on my bookshelf now, but rather it's because I just got so tired of reading ebooks because they are not so authentic, true to life, and original for me to even consume on a regular basis. And I am not saying that I hate digital media so much, okay? I mean, don't get me wrong. I still have developed some love for digital media. But I do kind of enjoy looking at printed text, on real paper in a physical book that doesn't even require me to focus on the screen all day just to finish reading more books in my Kindle catalog. I mean, I still do have more books to finish reading from my bookshelf, and no one is going to absolutely stop me from reading physical books. The same goes for collecting physical copies of games that I want to play. Because, let's be real here. When you own something digitally, okay, like an ebook, of course you don't even get to own the complete rights or the full authority to keep the ebook for the rest of your life. Because even Amazon could potentially pull out some books that you may have bought in the past from the Kindle store. What does that mean? It means you don't even get a refund from the same ebook that you've owned from your Kindle library, which is of course a shame. I mean, it's all gone. It's gone from the Amazon Kindle store. You see, even the same analogy applies to when you are buying a digital copy of a video game from the PlayStation store. But then, when Sony decides to remove the game you've previously bought from the digital store or the PlayStation store, you cannot play it anymore. So taking 100% ownership of your books is also highly vital to maintain your book collection permanently. And even I don't like buying ebooks from the Kindle store because of ownership concerns as well. I like to own my books forever. I don't really want Amazon to just remove all of the books that I have bought with my hard-earned cash. So that is not fair. Don't get me wrong on this. I don't dislike people who still love owning ebooks so much because they are so convenient and cheaper for them to purchase. So they can just read wherever they want. Even when they're traveling, they don't even need to bring all of their books with them as they're traveling around the world. So that's what's great about ebooks. However, I just completely dislike the fact that When your Kindle is all damaged, like this, okay, or like when you smashed it by accident, or when it is deactivated by Amazon themselves, ding, then I don't want to be forced by Amazon to even buy one of their latest models of their Kindles that they have in stock that are just so overpriced but unreliable at times to use. You know what I mean? So maybe I am just not really a fan of the whole Kindle deactivation policy thing, if you know what that means, okay? Because there has been an official announcement by Amazon. Okay, they said that they will deactivate all of the older Kindle models. Maybe, I can't remember. I think it was 2030 or something, but who knows when the policy will take effect. What even is the point of selling it to anyone who wants it when it is unusable? It's unusable and bricked by Amazon. Am I right? That's why I will never stop reading physical books, because after I buy them, I can still read them anytime I want to and bring them with me anywhere I want. Although bringing all 100 books with you in one duffel bag whenever you travel around the world may not seem like a good idea, of course, so don't ever do that unless you are planning to migrate to another country and live there forever with your books. I'm sure for some bookworms out there, they would also agree with me that physical books are still better than ebooks in their own opinions. But yeah, let me know in the comments, okay? And let us not try to be pessimistically biased about all of this, because we are not trying to start an all-out war between ebook fanatics and physical book fanatics. So please don't even think about it in the comment section of this video, okay? We all have our own reading preferences. So let us try not to start a war in this channel, okay? If your friend likes reading ebooks, for example, then please don't even force him or her to throw away his or her Kindle like this. Okay, if he or she doesn't want to. Because it's like you are just disposing of electronic waste that will be extremely detrimental to the environment. So let us try not to throw away electronic waste that will cause climate change. Okay, so we have to save the environment. And most importantly, let us not discriminate against other types of readers. Okay, bookworms? That is all I have to say in this video about why ebooks are not my thing anymore. Well, be sure to like the video as well if you are still with me on this. And if you do agree with me so far, but if not, then you can always read ebooks again for as long as you want, if that makes you productive, okay? And I am still not hating on you over here. So be sure to subscribe to the channel as well and click that notification bell so that you will never miss any of my videos at all. I will see you all in the next video. So continue reading all of the books that you love and keep learning continuously from your books, okay? Goodbye, everyone. And remember to stay productive every day. I will see you all soon. Bye-bye.